Welcome to the Art of Moving Boxes. In this series, we're going to talk about the real reasons warehouse implementations fail. Not the polished version, not the project plan version, but what actually shows up inside the operation. These lessons come from real warehouse work, real WM's implementations, and real leadership pressure on the floor. Let's get into it and see why. A system can look perfect during a demonstration and still fail the business. That's a hard truth many organizations face. That's one of the reasons conference room pilots are so critical. They bridge the gap between software potential and operational reality. In many WM's implementations, the conference room pilot is really a proof of concept. It's the organization's opportunity to validate. It's a chance to see if the future state design will actually work before investing significant time, money, and effort into building the solution. We are talking about the foundation of your future operation. This is where you decide how you'll move every single box for years to come. Unfortunately, many organizations make the same mistake. They don't bring the right people into the room during this critical phase. They forget that the people who scan these boxes every day are the ones who truly understand the operational truth of the warehouse. A successful CRP is not an IT exercise. It's not a consultant exercise, and it's definitely not an executive exercise. It's a business exercise, plain and simple. Every major area of the organization should be represented at that table. Operations, inventory control, receiving, shipping. Every link in the chain needs to be present to validate the workflow. Transportation, customer service, finance, IT, leadership. All of these groups see something completely different. And the supervisors and process owners who actually live with the operation every day are your most valuable assets in the room. The warehouse manager may focus on productivity. They care about the flow and the numbers, but they need to know if the steps are real. Inventory control may focus on accuracy. They need to ensure every unit is accounted for without slowing down the operation. Customer service may focus on visibility. They need to know exactly where an order is so they can give the customer an honest answer. Finance may focus on reporting and compliance. They need the data to be auditable and the costs to be transparent. It may focus on integrations and supportability. They're looking at the long-term health and stability of the system architecture. Leadership may focus on risk and business value. None of those perspectives are wrong. In fact, all of them are necessary for success. The purpose of a CRP is not to demonstrate software. That's a mistake I see over and over. The purpose is to challenge the design. The purpose is to identify gaps. It's to discover assumptions that were made in a vacuum during the early planning stages. The purpose is to ask difficult questions before the project moves forward. It's about finding out where the system fails your business. One of the biggest mistakes I see is when a CRP becomes a presentation. It turns into a one-way street where information just flows out. The consultants talk. The vendor demonstrates screens. Everyone nods because they want to go home, and the meeting ends. That's not a CRP, that's a demo. And demos don't save businesses. A real CRP should create discussion. It should be a debate. People should challenge workflows. They should question every assumption. They should identify concerns without fear of slowing things down. Because problems discovered during a CRP are inexpensive. They're just notes on a board or changes to a configuration file. But problems discovered during UAT are costly. They require rework, retraining, and they delay the entire project timeline. And problems discovered after go live, those are painful. They impact your reputation and your ability to fulfill orders. One of the most dangerous phrases you'll hear during a CRP is, "We'll figure that out later." That's a massive red flag. Later usually means change requests. Later means redesign. Later means delays. And later always means more cost. I've seen those stacks grow. I've seen projects stall because people were afraid to make the hard decisions during the CRP. The earlier an organization identifies concerns, the easier and less expensive they are to resolve. Broad participation is the key. You need the eyes of the warehouse, the office, and the executive suite all looking at the same design at the same time. A conference room pilot is not about proving the software works. It's about proving the business can operate successfully. It's about making sure your actual business processes, your real-world constraints are accounted for in the software design. If the business isn't fully represented, you haven't proven anything. You've only validated a small part of the whole picture. And the parts you miss are exactly where the failures will happen. You need to see the whole operation or you see nothing. The best CRPs don't end with everyone agreeing. They end with everyone understanding the design, the changes, and the risks. Because successful implementations are built on alignment long before go live arrives, long before the trucks start moving. I'm James Goldman, and this is the art of moving boxes. We tell the operational truths that consultants often skip. Subscribe to The Art of Moving Boxes for real-world warehouse, WMS, and supply chain lessons that actually show up on the floor. Join us as we explore the challenges and the successes of modern logistics. Let's keep your operation moving together. Thank you for watching. If you found this content useful, interesting, or engaging, please subscribe to the Art of Moving Boxes YouTube channel below. And make sure to join the Art of Moving Boxes LinkedIn group on LinkedIn. That is where we continue the conversation around real warehouse operations, WMS implementations, supply chain execution, and leadership lessons from the floor. Thanks again for watching. Subscribe below, join us on LinkedIn, and I'll see you in the next video.